It's the first TBR of 2026. I'm so excited to get into everything. I feel invigorated by my TBR, by all of the new releases that sound really interesting. I just can't wait to see what this year brings, and I feel like you're gonna see me a little bit more curating what I'm reading this year. I always kick off the year reading other people's favorites. This year it's going to be even more selective and just based on what I'm interested in, as opposed to, you know, checking off a list and finding the people I have most in common with. When it comes to like my Goodreads Choice Awards video at the end of the year, I think I'm gonna go back to just like reading something that I want from each category. And with the TBR jar, I'm not just gonna pick one a month. I'm still gonna read one a month, but I'm gonna pick 3. And then I'm going to select which one I would most like to read. So that is to come in this video. But we're just gonna talk about, I didn't even bring my notebook. We're gonna talk about all the things that I have planned in Kayla's year of reading whatever the fuck she wants, or whatever we should call this. Maybe there's something we could rhyme with 6, like 2026. I really like doing things around numbers. Like there's 26 letters in the alphabet. So this year we're doing an alphabet themed reading thing that you'll see. Hold on. Kayla handpicks her 2026. No more shticks 2026. Back to basics 2026. Speaking of books, I don't know if I've told this story before. It's not a story. There was this book that came out. It had to have been 1996, let's say. It was a scholastic rhyming dictionary. And this was in the age where, you know, we didn't have the internet we can just go to a website and it would tell us every word that rhymed with something. You had to have like a book. And we had one in our school library. I feel like it was red. Maybe it was yellow. And you could be put on this list to reserve the book. And I wanted this book so badly. I needed this book. Everything in my life, everything that I was writing, everything that I was doing, this rhyming book would have changed my life. Like I was convinced. I would have been in like, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd grade. And I put my name on the list to reserve it. And I didn't get it until 7th grade. And by then the internet could help you with rhyming stuff. And I remember for years waiting for that book to get in my hands, waiting for it to go through everybody who reserved it before me. And I just like never got my hands on it. And look at me now. I just rhymed shtick with 6 without needing the book. That doesn't rhyme. Anyway, that's how sought after that rhyming dictionary was. That even as the girl who went to the library every single day and definitely put myself on that list, within a couple days, like I didn't get it for years. The timeline in my head's probably a little messed up. Maybe it was more like 4th grade or 5th grade and then 7th grade. And now I need to find a picture of it. Hopefully I'm showing it to you. Maybe someone else has that memory. Maybe you look completely different than what I remember. Sometimes your memory can't be trusted. It's like I always, since I was like 10 years old, have been trying to convince people that there was a hash brown at McDonald's that had cheese inside of it and they only had it for like a week. And I have craved that hash brown with cheese inside it for 20 something years and nobody remembers it. So maybe also nobody remembers this rhyming dictionary. Let me grab my notepad. I got my notepad. Here are my reading plans. Oh, I didn't even introduce you to what we're doing in this video. We're talking about my reading plans for January, February, and maybe a little bit of March. Oh my God, first we have to talk about book clubs. I forgot I was even talking to you about book clubs today. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the Literally Dead book club, but first, the Besties book club. I was gonna go out and buy these to show you, and then I just didn't. Our first Besties book club of Read of the Year is Audition by Katie Kitamura. I don't fully know the plot of this one, but I've heard a couple people say that there's something that the book is doing, like something a little bit weird, that halfway through the book, or maybe by the end of the book, there's something that you realize was happening while you were reading, or like there's a switch, there's a reveal, like something is happening behind the scenes. And I just really want to read that. And I put it up against a couple other books in a poll, and this is the one that the Besties decided on. We will have a live show in early March. If you've always wanted to discuss this with a group of people, join. There's a link down below. 2 people meet for lunch in a Manhattan restaurant. She's an elegant and accomplished actress in rehearsals for an upcoming premiere. He's attractive, troubling, and young enough to be her son. Who is he to her, and who is she to him? In Audition, 2 competing narratives unspool, rewriting our understanding of the roles we play every day: partner, parent, creator, muse, and the truths every performance masks, especially from those who think they know us best. What What does that mean? I don't know, but I'm so intrigued. The other thing that we're reading is The Count of Monte Cristo. And if you're thinking, whoa, that's intimidating. Indeed. And therefore, this is why I've announced it now, because our live show is not going to be until December. So this isn't technically my reading plans for January, February, and March, unless, like some of the besties, I do decide to split up the book, because it's like 1,000 pages, to reading a couple chapters every month, which I might do. I'm not totally sure yet. So that's the Besties Book Club. And then we have the Literally Dead Book Club. And I'm going to announce, the February and March picks, because I might as well announce two. I didn't want to do a whole announcement video, like a standalone one, but maybe I should have, because now to get this information, you have to sit through me talking about hash browns and rhyming dictionaries. Anyway, as I talked about last year, one of my most anticipated reads that I was thinking about choosing, and therefore I am, is How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates. This is our February pick, and it comes out in February. This isn't gonna happen all year. We're not gonna be reading brand new releases like in the month they come out, hopefully like a month in advance at least for the brand new releases. This one I just have to get to. I have to get to right now. It's by Shaylee Thompson. It is at the top of my list of anticipated reads, and it's like a horror, romance, thriller. It sounds so fun. It says it's swoony, downright terrifying. A young woman gets caught in the middle of a murder spree at a speed dating event and must use her encyclopedic knowledge of the horror genre to make it as a real-life final girl. It sounds perfect for me. And yes, I could just read it on my own and then let you know if it's good, but instead, I'm gonna rope all of you in on it with me, and we're gonna discuss it together and find out how we all feel about it. In March, I discussed this too, and I have committed to The Fisherman by John Langan. This is a backlist published 10 years ago, cosmic horror novel. It has been recommended to me in person by random people more so than any other book. Like every time I'm at the bookstore and I'm buying something that's cosmic horror, someone will be like, oh, have you read The Fisherman? This is also one of my favorite author, Paul Tremblay's favorite books. It's popped up in a couple videos and a couple scenarios over the years of like something that I could have picked for some kind of video concept. And I am turning into a video concept as well that I'll talk about in a second, but you're also gonna read it with me. I noticed there isn't an audiobook available, but I did find one. Like there is one, but it's not currently available for purchase. So definitely check your local library. This is also why I wanted to tell you this early that it's happening in March, so you can get prepared to pick it up. You can order it because now you have like weeks to get it if you have to order it from somewhere random, because it wasn't even available at my local bookstore. But I do know it's out there. It does exist, and there is an audiobook because I found it on YouTube. So maybe I'll put the link down below. Oh, my mom's here. And you can maybe go download it before it disappears in case it disappears, but it has been up for years. Maybe you can also get it from your local library. They might have it. I'll tell you what it's about in just a second. Okay, I'm back. You're still here. Time has not changed for you. The Fisherman is about Abe and Dan, two widowers who have found solace in each other's company and a shared passion for fishing. They hear rumors of the creek and what might be found there, the remedy to both their losses. They dismiss it as just another fish story. Soon, though, the men find themselves drawn into a tale as deep and old as the reservoir. It's a tale of dark pacts, of long-buried secrets, and of a mysterious figure known as Der Fisher, the Fisherman. I am very excited to read both of those with you, so please join me. If you want to, I didn't plan any co-hosts. I'll find some, don't you worry, or let me know if you make content and you'd like to hang out with me. What The Fisherman is also a piece of content for is I'm definitely gonna do a horror related vlog, a horror focused vlog this season. There are, how do I describe this? There are 8 open slots in my list of favorite horror of all time. If I look at all the last 10 years of reading and try to find 8 perfect horror books from each year, there are certain years that I haven't read enough horror books to have favorites from, including I think it's 2016, which is when The Fisherman was published. So I am going to be on a mission in a couple probably vlogs to fill in those spots throughout the year. So the first one is going to come out in March. Another March plan that I had, I was thinking about romantasy. There is some upcoming ones. I was going back and forth with what I wanted this to be, because for one idea, I think I'll probably do both of these this year at some point, but One of my plans is to do romantasy that has been recommended because I've done 2 episodes of this romantasy series, trying to find favorites from recommendations. And I've definitely found good ones and I want to continue with that. And I have a couple more on my list. And then also though, there's a bunch of brand new kind of romantasy books coming out in 2026. And a lot of them are coming out early in the year. So I think in March, you will see a romantasy video from me. I definitely want to read the new, what is it called? Throne of Nightmares book in that whole series. But then there's a couple, starts a series. There's like a standalone that interests me. The author who did Emily Wilde, she has a new fantasy romance. So I think that's definitely in the plans and what I'm into. Let's do the TBR jar. I have to pick something from here. Yeah, this is just me curating everything a little bit more. It's a little less random, but I think it's good because it also, like, you're never going to see everything in here. So wouldn't you like to see 3 of them right now? And one of them I select for myself to read in January. And there's just I'm less scared. Here's how everything went last year. These are the 12 books that I read. I think this is the 12 because some of them were prompts, not specific books. And I think there was 1 5-star. There was quite a few flops. The ones that went the best were the ones that were, I think, just based on prompts. But there was also ones from my own TBR. I just like to curate it a little bit more. That doesn't mean I won't still pick things that I've never heard of, but we'll just see. Okay, we've got 2 and we've got 3. I'm gonna read one of these 3 in the next couple weeks. Semagurbas 2066 says, I recommend Beware of Pity by Stefan Zweig. He's one of my all-time favorite authors, and this is my favorite book of his. He's really popular in Europe, but underrated in the US and Canada. Okay, I have to look into what that is. The second option is from the restricted section. Thank you. It's The Anatomist's Wife by Anne Lee Huber, particularly the audiobook. 2 books now I've never heard of. The third option is Show Me a Sign by Anne Sierre Lazotte. I really want to read more books about characters with disabilities this year. That's great. Show Me a Sign, I recognize the name of. I think that one's YA, maybe? Anatomist's Wife. A Lady Darby mystery. For some reason, this is already on my radar on Goodreads. I don't know when I would have heard of it. Scotland, 1830. Following the death of her husband, Lady Darby has taken refuge on her sister's estate, finding solace in her passion for painting. And there's a mystery to uncover. Maybe I'll just like try all of them and I'll just pick one. I don't have to pick one right now, but those are the 3 options for January. Let's talk about a couple other video plans that I have. One is going into my TBR closet, the alphabet challenge. If you've watched every single Lala Miss video, those 12, there was one where I talked about the video and I let you influence it a little bit. So I do need to work on a spinner wheel, and I need to make a video for my members where I clean out the closet. That will be happening soon. Speaking of the besties, we have a watch party every other month or every season, and I have committed to Drop Dead Gorgeous this time because I just want to rewatch it so bad. It keeps popping into my mind. I keep thinking about it in relation to the books that I'm reading and just things that I'm interested in. So we are going to be watching that. I told you I'm doing favorites videos. I definitely am. I think there might be 2 or 3 different episodes of reading people's favorites and a little teaser into what I'll be reading. One of them is The Ministry of Time. And then of course I have my buzzword videos coming up. We have one for February and one for March. Of course, I'm going to try to consistently make those the first vlogs of the month, every single month, so people can be reminded about the buzzword, get their inspiration, tell us what they're actively reading. And what I'll be reading for both of those is Veronica Speedwell, number 9 and number 10. And then the other prompts I need to fulfill, because those fulfill the cover challenges, the title prompts are a keyboard key and this and that, which I have, like last year, I planned the buzzword somewhat around things that I was already planning on reading, things that aligned with book clubs. This year, I don't think any of the title prompts I picked for any reason. So I don't even know how I have this and that on my TBR, but I'll figure it out. Now let me change my battery and we'll do another TBR jar. I didn't think I'd been yapping long enough for my battery to die, but alas. Should we also do March? I don't know. Okay, here's the February plan, I guess. Should I have assigned these to months, or should I have just like pulled out 9 and picked 3 from the 9? I've got 2 right there. Let's pick a third. Okay. Ah! The Library of Mount Char, Coco's Book Nook. This has been in here for years, I think. I have already read that. So the prompt is a book about books. Would you rather me pick a prompt, or would you rather me have to choose one of these? I don't know. Fourth Wing, Elizabeth. See, and this is exactly why I decided to do this year. And maybe some of you are like, oh my God, finally we could have gotten the reason for Kayla to read Fourth Wing. Finally, after all these times where she could have read it for this video or this video and denounced it, this could have been the moment to force. And this is why I did it. The TBR jar cannot force me to read something this year I'm actively not wanting to read. You can't do it. Okay, this one is Entangled Life, How Fungi Make Our Worlds, Change Our Minds, and Shape Our Futures by Merlin Sheldrake. Yeah, Jess Norton. I think that's probably the one I'm gonna end up going with. And now I don't know if I should feel bad about dismissing the other people's picks. Should I put them back in the jar because I haven't technically read them so they get another chance? What say you? Because you might already be mad at me for doing this way and picking 3. I don't know. I don't think I showed these 3 for the January pick. But thank you very much to everybody who has submitted things. And I guess we'll do March. I guess, yeah, it's probably better to be prepared. I am going to do a TBR in March for spring, but it might be, you know, halfway through the month, and then I should probably already know what I'm going to read. Let's go all the way to the bottom. Let's just pick like 3 from the bottom. They're all the same color. Okay, Jessica says The Briar Club because the characters are phenomenal. Okay, I never planned to read The Briar Club. I appreciate how much you love it. That one was not on my radar. I could. Or I could read Close to Home by Kara Hunter. Chrissy suggested this one. I would like you to read Murder in the Family by the same author instead. Wait, original suggestion was Close to Home by Kara Hunter. Now I would like you to read Murder in the Family by the same author instead. I haven't read it yet myself, but would love to follow your experience. This is something that was on my TBR. I thought it would be in the Goodreads Choice Awards, like, was it last year or the year before? And I was thinking about picking it, and then it wasn't there. And I guess it's just one that has gotten a lot of really good marketing, and people have liked enough, but it hasn't blown up the way that like the marketing implied that it would. But the last option from Coco. Remember last time when I lost the slip? It fell back in the jar, or I put it back in the jar, and not only that, it ended up at the bottom of the jar. I already read Metal Singer. That's funny. Okay, let's pick an actual third one. Although I don't know if anything can beat Murder in the Family. But let's see. Build your house around my body. This is from L.K. Noisen, I'm going to say. Thank you so much for the suggestion. I do have that one loosely on my radar, but I think I am going to confidently go with the thriller, and I think I'll put these ones back in the jar. That feels fair, because maybe another year I will go back to just picking one that I have to read once I feel back in a place where I feel more comfortable with things being random. I think I need to hold a little bit of control at this point in my life. So I have a historical, I have a mystery, and I have a nonfiction. One of them I've never heard of before. One of them I've barely heard of, and one of them I don't actually know the plot of Murder in the Family. I just saw it promoted a lot. So this is my next 3 months of the members TBR jar. And then I guess lastly, I just need to tell you any new releases that I'm interested in. So we have Vigil. This one is where it's like a novella where a man dies and he's being ferried into the other world by a woman, I think. Future Saints, I read every Ashley Winstead. Her last one I DNF'd. And this one is more general fiction. It's about a star. I just think I need to try it because I like her stuff. Escape is a reality show book, and a lot of you told me that the author, you recognize him because he's from a reality show. So that's kind of cool. For Human Use is the one where there are cadavers that people can like date. And I don't really understand, but it sounds so intriguing. I have to have it. Like I said, Throne of Nightmares is coming out. That's a romantasy I'm interested in. The other romantasy I already showed you. I didn't really talk about what they're all about, but they're about fantasy and romance. And I'll tell you more about them in the video. I am committing to a 2025 brand new release romantasy vlog. It's happened. And you can learn about all of those, and then I'll tell you if you have to read them or not. One of them actually is apparently, you guys told me, Delilah S. Dawson writing in romantasy under a different name. So that's pretty cool. And then You Should Have Been Nicer to My Mom, which is a horror novel. The one where one of the people in the family is a demon and they have to figure out who it is. And then The Starter X, which is a woman who will like fake date your crush to make him like you more because she makes the date terrible. And then she gets hired by a guy who is also trying to sabotage his dating life, and they're gonna fall for each other. So those are the new releases. If I am going to read new releases, those are the ones that you'll see in the next couple months. On the 1st of every month, I do post on my Instagram stories anything that I'm anticipating and my thoughts on each book box, like Aardvark and Book of the Month selection, if I'm gonna be buying them or not. And then again, with my channel besties, on the 1st, I'm gonna try to do the 1st of the month every single month. We react to them together live, and then we do some reading sprints. So that is the plan for January, February, a little bit of March. I feel good laying all that out for you and the plans. I feel more organized. And also now knowing my TBR selections and holding a semblance of control with that makes me feel really good. So I am super hyped about my next couple months of reading, and I hope you are too. And I hope to see you in all of my vlogs and all the things that I'm gonna make and put out there. And that's it for me today. My first favorites vlog will be up in just a couple days. See you then. Bye!